Coming up on Central News tonight, the Waikato Expressway. What will happen to the town's bypass? Marine app a winner and the rise of the gym bunny. Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Friday the 5th of December. I'm Hilary Entwistle. A year in local government can go very fast, and with 10-year plans and alcohol bylaws, it's been a busy one for new Mayor Jan Barnes of Matamata Piako District Council. Jan, it's been a year since you've been as well. It's been a little bit over a year, actually.
Yes.
So how's the first year of being Mayor of Matamata Piako been?
It's been a real privilege, can I say. Very, very busy year, embracing all my different roles and pulling my team together as councillors. But it's been most rewarding. I want to give confidence to the community that we have worked extremely well. We have had an alcohol policy, which we've managed to work through. The psychoactive substances was very contentious, but of course the government finally stepped up and did what we, the advocate for the community, asked. We've been working on our annual plan, and a lot of consulting has gone out. And you could almost say we've over-consulted, but I think people have appreciated us coming to the markets, bringing the groups in specifically to discuss issues with them. And now we're working on a long-term plan. And people might say, well, how do you work 10 years out? And then looking into the future of 30 years. It's not just done ad hoc. We have figures from Burl, and we employ a rationale with our projections of growth or not going forward. And I can say Matamata Piako District has growth. So that's wonderful.
You say some people might think you've over-consulted on the annual plan. Why is that?
Sometimes people expect that you're an elected member, just get on with it. But we've got to allow everybody to have their say. So yes, we take those comments on board, but we've had comments where people have said, thank you, we've appreciated the chance to talk to you. So we get a bit of both.
So what's the big issues coming up for the 10-year plan?
Well, of course, managing infrastructure. Definitely always the core business of council, and that is your roading, your wastewater, which for another term is sewage, your water, and your refuge collection. You know, so we've got to make sure that we've got capacity to cope with this little bit of growth that we're going to have, that we don't overspend the ratepayer dollar and have a Rolls Royce or capacity for so many more people that may never come to the district. So it's a balancing act, Hilary, and I believe that we are making a very good fist of it. I'm very aware of what my ratepayer can afford, and so it's got to balance. And of course you're looking 10 years out, so where can we move the bigger projects, you know, what pipes need replacing, what capacity is left. And of course we have a Te Araha Event Centre as a new capital works, and our memorial centre that does not meet the earthquake standards and a very poor roof.
Those earthquake standards have been quite a problem for many councils. It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is, and we're in rural New Zealand, and we do have a lot of old buildings here. We don't want government to put such stringent rules that we have owners walking away. So we are lobbying very hard for government to allow our rural area to be mindful of safety, definitely, but to keep yet again that balance.
How do you find that balance?
I think we discuss with the experts in the different field. Yes, we had a 4.2 earthquake felt here in Matamata Te Araha recently, so we can't say we're removed from that. But what we're saying is we need buildings that will allow people to get out, not necessarily that will withstand the complete earthquake, but to have that safety factor.
So another big one that you said was this predicted growth. How much are we talking?
Oh, we're only talking 1 to 1.5%, but when you think about how many councils and local body entities do not have growth, in fact they're shrinking, how are they going to pay for the services and the infrastructure that they have, the level that they already have now? So we're saying business as usual, steady level. We believe the level of service we are giving is about right, but what capacity have we got going forward?
What is, I mean, excuse my ignorance to the population of the district, but what is 1% kind of talking in terms of numbers of people?
Well, we're a district of 32,000. We have approximately 12 in Morrinsville, 12,000 in Matamata, and the balance 6,000 in Te Araha. So that's, you know, a little bit of growth. We know Morrinsville and Matamata have a little more growth in Te Araha, but I think as a district we're functioning very well right across the 3 towns.
What do you think is leading to that growth?
Definitely dairy industry, location. Look where we sit. Why wouldn't you come out of Auckland? You can have everything that you have up there. It's just as good a house, if not better, money in the pocket, and you can go to lakes, skiing, beaches, or airports. So without the congestion. And can I say, our sports clubs and the clubs that we love are so strong. People are missing out living not in the rural New Zealand.
You talked about traffic congestion, and there is that Waikato Expressway. They're thinking, you know, at least 4 years before it bypasses Matamata. With that 10-year plan, are you putting in place things that tourism development and that kind of thing? Because I guess you could run the risk of becoming a ghost town if people can bypass Matamata.
No, it's not a bypass, Harry. It's an expressway. And the mayors of the Waikato, in their forum and along with their councils, highlighted that the expressway was our priority all those years ago, because we felt that it would bring economic development to the whole region. We sit in that triangle between the Auckland port, the Tauranga port, and of course you'll have Ruakura inland port coming on stream. So I think that was a very good decision. I believe what's going to happen, and we're hoping that this is what will happen, is the trucks will be on the 4-lane expressway. They'll have an even speed, and I believe that's even being discussed to raise that speed, savings in fuel. And you'll probably get the independent traveller coming through State Highway 27. I think that we're still going to get the vibrancy and the busyness, but perhaps keeping safety paramount, with the trucks and the cars perhaps being separated a little bit more.
Still losing out on the truckers' money of buying their pie and their Coke or something like that on the road, aren't we, though?
Yes, that'll be need to address, something that they do have these pull-offs where truckies are fed and watered. It depends where the truck is going, I imagine, and there will still be trucks needed to come in to service our industry and our areas. So I think that then perhaps there'll be a balance, I'd like to think.
If you'd like to find out more, visit the Council's website, mpdc.gov.nz. Up next, Waikato Regional Council has won an award for their Marine app. Welcome back to Central News on TV Central. Waikato Regional Council won an award recently for their Marine app. Amanda Harper found out more.
So the award was with Coast Guard Boating Education, and the award itself was for education and innovation and technology. So it was like a combined Supreme Award.
Excellent. Marine Mate smartphone app has been obviously quite successful, downloaded over 20,000 times. Why do you think it's been a great success?
I think it's because people are now into using smartphones quite regularly. The technology's moved along that it's now achievable for councils to be able to do apps. They're not sort of bleeding edge technology, and it gave people what they want. It solved a problem.
And how did the project all come together? Who had the original idea to create an app for boat safety in the Waikato?
Yeah, so that was my team. It was actually a bit of a throwaway comment. We were talking about when you go from different regions, if you go from Bay of Plenty over the hill into Waikato, the rules can change, and it just happened to be a bit of a throwaway comment. Oh, it'd be great if there was an app for that. And we sort of just laughed. And then we sort of started talking about it a little bit more, and we thought, hey, we could actually do this, and we went for it.
It was a bit of a collaboration on funding in order to provide a free app. Who backed the project?
Well, who didn't really? There was 17 councils, 17 regional councils and 5 central government agencies. The big ones being Maritime New Zealand and Land Information New Zealand, because they've got a lot of the information that we wanted to make it attractive to users.
And it's been a year since the launch. Have you had to make any tweaks?
Yeah, we've done quite a few. The best thing about apps is that your users give you feedback. So we took all the feedback that we got from the Apple Store and from Google Play and used that to make the app better. When we first started, it was a little bit clunky, and we wanted to just get the information out there and get people to say what they wanted, and that way we could improve it and have it good for their users. We're doing a very, very major upgrade which is coming out in the next week or so, which is the biggest change that we've done all year, so we're really excited about it.
And it's obviously great for people using Waikato waterways, but what about other areas in New Zealand?
Yeah, so Marine Mate is nationwide, so it's all councils that have a responsibility for navigation safety across the whole country. And the best thing about it was that there was some smaller councils that couldn't afford it, because I mean $5,000 can be quite a lot for some of the small councils, and it was really important to ACC that the whole country was covered, because it's part of their accident prevention, and so they funded 6 councils to make it nationwide.
And so say that I'm going out on my boat for the day in the Whangaroa Harbour. Does this app have everything that I need to know, or are there some things that the app just can't predict?
Yeah, so weather's one of them. We don't have weather on Marine Mate, and the simple reason for that is that other apps do it very, very well and already have collaborations with Maritime New Zealand for it. But if you're going out, then you'd start the night before and you'd check the tides, you'd know which time you want it to go out, you'd know what the local rules are, and where you can or can't do the activity that you want to, depending on if it's powered or non-powered.
Can you run us through the Marine Mate app and how it works?
Yes, definitely. There's probably 3 main features. The biggest feature is the tide times, which people find really attractive. And the best thing about this app is it's the first time that LINZ has actually put the tide times out that have been adjusted for daylight saving and also secondary ports. So you check that to know when is the best time to go out, because not all boat ramps are available at all tides. Then you'd look at the local boating rules, and then perhaps at the boat ramps and the zones that you're going to go into.
You can find out how to download the app on the Waikato Regional Council's website. In our next story, this will be the first weekend of the new limit for breath alcohol while driving. The alcohol limit for drivers aged 20 years and over lowers from 400 mcg of alcohol per litre of breath to 250 mcg. The blood alcohol limit lowers from 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood to 50 milligrams.
Well, the limit's changing for adults over the age of 20, so from the 1st of December, that will reduce the breath alcohol limit from the current 400 micrograms of alcohol per litre of breath down to 250, and it will also reduce the blood alcohol level from 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood down to 50. Now, when you talk about standard drinks, it's really difficult to actually come up with a set level, or a set number of drinks, for the simple reason that everybody reacts differently to alcohol. It depends a lot on your physical size, your gender. It depends on whether you've had anything to eat that day, and depends on your activities and of course your metabolism. So look, it's really difficult to say, yes, you're okay to have a particular number of standard drinks. The message that police need to get across and people need to take on board is, the message is simply don't have a drink and then drive. So make arrangements before you're going to go out and drink, for transportation to get home.
What will the limits be then for blood alcohol testing?
Okay, so the limits for blood alcohol have been reduced from the 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood down to 50. So there's also some discussion around how you phrase that. In Australia it's 0.05. So if you look at our levels, it's come down from 0.08 to 0.05.
So when is someone required to actually take a blood test?
Well, the process really initially starts with a breast screening test on the side of the road, then moves to an evidential breath test. Those that are required to undergo, and when I say required, there is a requirement as opposed to an option, then they're people that refuse the evidential breath test, or those people that are in hospital as a result of a crash.
Why are we changing our laws then?
Well, I think, look, it's really unequivocal. Around the world, research shows that by reducing the alcohol limit for drivers, you actually reduce the trauma on our roads. And if you have a look at our stats over the last 10 years, there's been 1,100 people killed as a result of drink driving and over 5,000 people injured. So really it's a no-brainer. You know, and I think for me that this is probably the best road policing initiative for New Zealand since the introduction of the zero alcohol level for under 20s. And this should translate into fewer deaths and fewer injuries on our roads.
Is this a trend that's happening worldwide to lower that blood alcohol limit?
Well, 89 countries around the world, including Australia, have adopted the World Health Organisation's recommendation that levels should be set at the 50 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood. So really that just brings New Zealand in line with the national trend.
Do you think then we had it way too high?
Personally, I think so. And I really welcome the lower levels because, you know, as I've said, what it will do, in fact, it will translate into fewer deaths, fewer people, more people spending Christmas with their loved ones, less people in hospital. It's got to be good for New Zealand.
Don't be caught out this festive season. Just ahead, the rise of the gym bunny. Welcome back to Central News. Reality programs like Jersey and Geordie Shore, the rise of the celebrity culture, CrossFit, or maybe it's the looming obesity epidemic. Whatever it is, there seems to be a rise in popularity in being fit and healthy, and supplement use. So much so that some Bay of Plenty gentlemen have started their own supplement company out of Mount Maunganui with truly Kiwi flavours like Fijoa. I found out if looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger is what Kiwis are really after. You've started a new supplement company. How did it all come about?
Well, there were 3 of us in Australia. We were all close friends and we were all gymming it all the time over there. And we just realised that when we came back to New Zealand after living over there for 3 years that the supplement stuff were a lot more expensive over here, and they were the same brands as that, but they were even the exchange rate was a lot worse than what we even assumed. So we just decided to make supplements for our friends, and then we ended up making them for other people as well.
Is there really a need for another supplement company?
We definitely think so, because the industry just keeps on growing and growing and growing. It's never going to stop, I don't think, and we just enjoy it. It's a job we love to do, and we just want to help other people enjoy it as well.
Why take a supplement?
Supplements are there to give the users the nutrients they might be missing from their diets. So if you're missing, say, protein, carbs, fats, that sort of thing, you can take a supplement to get it up to the levels that you want and therefore recover faster, perform better.
There seems to be more evidence now that processed foods are bad for us. Isn't supplements processed?
Yes, there is that, but there's also the side that we at Adonis, we prefer to use natural ingredients when we can, and we're looking at actually changing all of our flavours to natural, which we have most of them natural at the moment, and colours, most of them are natural as well. So we're just, when we can, we don't want to exchange the flavour for the actual natural side of it. We want to make it taste good, but still be as much as natural as we possibly can.
There seems to be a rising popularity, especially in the younger generation, to be fit and healthy. Why do you think that is?
I think there definitely is a rise in the popularity of the fit and healthy lifestyle. I think it's a lot to do with just the public image of it all being a lot more acceptable. There's lots of TV shows now that promote it, and also celebrities as well, like Mark Wahlberg, and you see Wolverine or Hugh Jackman out there doing it, putting it up on like Facebook, and it's just appealed to the younger generation a lot.
Some would associate supplements with bodybuilders. Would that be accurate?
It's definitely a common misconception that we get a lot. It helps bodybuilders for sure, but it's not just for them. It could help the everyday person just trying to get a little bit fitter or lose a bit of weight. It'll definitely help. Our protein is New Zealand protein. It's also quite cheap compared to others. We keep the ingredient list to a minimum, so we don't want to have a big chemical list on the back. We try and keep it as healthy as possible. Like Nick said, we've got natural colours and flavours in it.
Why take a protein powder?
For post-workout, you want to try and repair those muscles that you've got. You usually damage them. It sounds bad, but when you're working out, you damage your muscles and you need the fuel to repair them again.
Now for the weather for Saturday. Looking to the seas now to see what our Saturday's going to be like. That is Central News for today and this week. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can via our Facebook page, centralnews.tv, or email us news@tvcentral.co.nz. Join me again next week for more stories from the Bay of Plenty and the Waikato. Until then, I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a lovely evening and a fantastic weekend.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.